Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and today I am going to be making Eeyore steamed buns. Now, I've had a lot of steamed buns in my lifetime. They were a childhood staple, especially at dim sum, but I normally had them filled with something. Today, I'm going to be making steamed buns that have absolutely no filling at all, but they are perfect for just a little slightly sweetened snack, or you can also have them at dinner time and sop up a lot of different sauces. Now, I don't make many changes to this recipe. This is not my recipe, but like I said, I will post it down below. I actually ended up adding in the full packet of yeast. I always find when I don't add in the full packet of yeast, something goes wrong and it doesn't rise properly. So even though the recipe called for 4 grams of yeast, I'm using 8 grams. Now, it is not dry active yeast. If it was dry active yeast, then I would have to make sure that I mixed it with some warm milk and just using the same milk from the recipe, and then add in 2 teaspoons of the sugar. And then I would just continue on with the recipe as normal. Now keep in mind that adding in this coloring means that you will have to knead your dough quite a bit, which makes your dough a little bit tougher. It did turn out fine still, but if you want a super fluffy bun, then I would suggest adding no coloring whatsoever. To make this Eeyore shape, what you want to do is you want to start off with just a little ball, and then you kind of clip the ears like this. Now I should have clipped the ears a little bit lower so that they were a little bit longer. Then to adhere any other pieces, which is all made with the dough, just use a little dab of milk. The dough is actually very forgiving, so if you want to cut out different shapes or cut things, it actually really lends well to that. If you're having difficulty and you're finding that everything is snapping back too much, then just let the dough rest for about 15 minutes wrapped in plastic wrap, and it should be able to be a little bit more malleable. If it isn't, then that means something went wrong with the yeast process and you mixed it too much. So I would just restart if that happens. Now, one of the main things that you really need to focus on is making sure that the bun looks nice and smooth. If it's smooth before you steam it, then it's going to be super smooth once you finish steaming it. I really love this tip that the recipe gave, which is basically proofing the buns in the oven. So you turn your oven to the lowest temperature possible, then shut it off, and then cover the buns with a little towel and just leave them in there for about 15 minutes. And nothing is more thrilling than lifting up that towel and seeing that it did proof properly. I can see that everything is risen, especially on the side there. And don't worry, I know we don't have Eeyore's face on there yet, but we will put it on after the steaming process. If you love steamed dumplings or vegetables, then I highly suggest that you invest in a bamboo steamer. It makes things so much easier, and what the bamboo steamer does is that it allows everything to steam properly without moisture dripping back down onto your product. So what I have here is the wok. I brought it up to a rolling boil, and then I brought it back down to medium heat, and then I let these steam for about 15 minutes, and they were absolutely perfect. Oh, and also please ignore my extremely dyed hands and my fingernails. Yep, that purple dye is super strong. These steamed buns were a lot simpler to put together, but they look super cute still and a little bit different. Now, because I didn't have to knead them as much, it obviously is going to produce a little bit of a softer bun. Now, I wasn't sure how well this edible marker would do on the steam buns, but it's honestly the most satisfying texture I've ever written on. It even trumps dried fondant. The only thing that didn't come through for me during my steam bun process is the little indents for the stitches. So on some of the buns, those indents show up, but on some of them, they don't. So next time, I would really cut a little bit deeper with those indents. I've watched a lot of Disney vlogging videos where they eat a lot of these type of steam buns in Shanghai Disney, and I really have always wanted to make them, and it was actually super simple, just a little bit time consuming if you want to make the characters themselves. Both my daughter and son really like these steam buns. In fact, my daughter wanted to have 3. Like I said, the bun was slightly tougher because I did have to incorporate all of that food coloring, but I think if I just left them white, they would be perfect. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!